On this edition of Hey Neighbor, Kelly and I talked to Erin Kelley, Director of Marketing for the Rome Art and Community Center. This is a little hidden gem that we weren't aware of. They offer a robust schedule of classes, events, children's programs, art summer camps, local art exhibits. So, a lot to learn about the facility, which is a beautiful facility, what they have going on, and how they raise money to make it all happen because they are a 501c3 nonprofit. Just so you know, as you listen, we will reference a May 18th event that by the time this is live has already happened. So just know that Kelly and I attended the Sip Into Spring Food and Wine Festival. That's the event from the 18th that you missed, but we will be sure to link in show notes the different ways that you can learn about upcoming events. Today we have Erin Kelley, Director of Marketing for the Rome Art and Community Center. Welcome to the pod.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'll be the first to admit I had no idea until I started stalking the website what the Rome Art and Community Center was.
A lot of people don't, unfortunately.
What you do and the amount of things you do. So I'm excited to dive into this and learn more about it. So talk a little bit about, just high level what the center does.
So we focus on children's education a lot through the arts as well as community events. So we have live music, we have a preschool program. Our athletic summer camp is 8 weeks. It's Monday through Friday this year. We added on an extra day. And that we also do tuition assistance. So we get some grants so we can offer tuition assistance to people who qualify. And that's about 65% on the high end of the weeks.
That's
so
awesome.
We make sure culture is available for everybody.
Talk about classes. What sort of things do you do there?
So we have done paint and sips. We did a really cool decoupage one on slate. We have another paint and sip coming up. We're looking into candle making with one of the vendors that'll be at our event. She makes all natural soy candles, really cool, fun, and healthy.
So back me up a little bit because I'm slow. So when you talk about the Monday through Friday, so that is specifically for kids.
Yes, 5 to 12.
5 to 12, okay. All in one group?
Yes, they all come for the same time. We split them into different groups. They do art, they do drama. At the Thursday, they have a little live performance with different skits and things.
Okay. And that's about how many kids?
50 to 60.
Okay. And how much does that cost? Ballpark.
$225 at the high end. Tuition assistance is $55 a week, and it depends on if you're a
super
member,
affordable.
Multiple children. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're there from when to when?
The camp goes 9 to 2 or 3, but we do have before and after you can add on additionally. So 7 to 5 altogether.
So that's pretty. And that runs all summer.
Yes.
Are there spots available?
We are taking registration. You can go to romart.org and
download
all that information.
All right. So keep that in mind. Those of you listening that have a 5 to 12-year-old, pretty awesome opportunity there. And then you're talking about, the other classes are for adults, correct? Or
yes, we do them all like sip and paint style.
Yep.
We did one with quilling. That's I don't know if anybody's familiar. I had to look it up.
I'm not.
You take these tiny little pieces of paper and a little tool and you twirl them all up and then it makes beautiful designs. You put them together, you pinch them. Yeah, it comes out really nice. You should Google quilling.
I bet you I can mess it up.
No, it's easy. We do everything that's easy.
So let's talk a little bit about why arts are so important for our young children.
Okay. So when you learn through arts, like when you learn through math, the answer is right or wrong. No matter how you got there, the answer is right or wrong. When you learn through art, there is no wrong. It's about the process. It's about how you got there. Just doing art gives you spatial skills, creativity. It gives you fine motor skills. And then when you look at art and you talk about the process to get there and what it all was, that gives you social emotional skills. It lets you see that people look at things differently. It's really, really important.
And for certain kids that struggle academically, it is very comforting that there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to art.
Absolutely.
It gives them confidence because everybody can interpret something differently. Even when you're watching a play, we don't even need to be talking about just looking at art, but like, what did you come away with? What was the central message? Everybody comes away with something different. So I think it's so important. I know that we focus so much on academics for children at an early age. And I know that it's drastically different, Scott. And I'm a teacher, but even having children of our own, the stuff that they are requiring kids to do at such an early age, and they're given hardly any time for that expressive, interactive play, theatrical stuff, music. Even music in the classroom has gone aside. That it's so awesome that you are providing that sort of experience for our young kids, because the public schools are not, it's just so hard. They only have limited amount of hours.
And it is. And the first thing when funding gets cut is what they think is extra. But it's really proven through multiple studies that when you learn through art, it gives you a love of learning. You're not introduced to, nope, this is just wrong. You're bad at it. You're introduced to, oh, this is fun. This is just what it is. It's life, but on paper. It's really, and that everyone's opinion matters, and it can be different.
Are you a pure 501c3? Is it a nonprofit?
Yeah,
okay.
Yes.
So you depend solely on donations,
fundraisers,
grants,
government grants. Okay. The art thing, we could dive really deep here. It's so fascinating because I can look at something and think it's absolute crap. You couldn't give it to me for free. And then someone can come behind me and pay $2.1 million for it. And that's just how amazing, the eye of the beholder, as cliche as it is. But for someone like me, who frankly struggled academically, I don't care for math or science or, whatever was spoon fed to us at that age, just to hear someone tell you that's awesome, or I love that, if something you created, the confidence boost, is huge.
Yes.
Because so many kids, they take a test, they fail, and they're like, oh, it's me. I'm a loser.
Yeah.
I'm not smart. But the reality is they just haven't been introduced or really opened up their creative mind, which might be where they excel. So I love this stuff.
It's nice. There's a funny story about an artist who had to put something in a show and he didn't have it. So he slapped up a banana literally with duct tape on the wall. It sold for a ridiculous amount of money. It was a real banana. It couldn't have lasted long. So when I started the art center, one of our first artists openings we did was Tom Amadon. And he's a Rome native. He has a nice little story to go along with it, and the banana, which was not selling for his piece, wasn't selling for quite the same, but it did sell, and just a picture of the banana to represent. Yeah, sometimes it's crazy and sometimes it's great.
So we're not going to get into it quite yet, but we're going to talk wine in a minute. And one of our favorite bottles, so I'll give a plug, and now it's going to be off the shelves because it's hard to get anyway. But there's a wine called Saldo, Saldo.
Yep.
It's your regular dark wine bottle, and it just has a little red sliver of tape, like red electrical tape, with white lettering Saldo.
It's that old school labeling, when we're talking about with the raised
printer.
letter. Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
That's the bottle, right? And so we found it. We loved it. And then we learned the story behind it. And it's very similar to what you just shared with the banana, is that the whoever created or the winery that they did, they went to one of the biggest
wine festivals
and their labels weren't ready. But they wanted to enter it because they knew they had something special.
Right.
And so they took one of those label makers and just put Saldo on it.
Well, because they said you cannot enter your wine without a label. You have to have a label on it.
And it won like every award there. And they just we found our label. They ditched the old ones. And
that's
so
such a fun story.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about a little bit about the space in Rome. Scott and I need to get out to Rome more often. We have this conception that it's so far away from us, but
so many people do. When you take Rome, New Hartford, it's not a big difference. It really is not.
It's kind of like, we're here in Herkimer County in the Valley, and people in New Hartford, Utica, Rome are like, well, I'm not going. That's way far away, right? So I think it works both ways.
Right.
It does. It does work both ways. And honestly, we have a hard time with Utica to Rome. I don't know why. It's not that far. It's about 20 minutes, but
I don't even think it's 20 minutes. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
So let's talk about where you're housed. A little bit about the building here. Arthur and Grace Carpenter built it in 1923.
Yes, it just turned 100 last year.
That's cool.
And it is an amazing space. If you haven't been in it, just walk it. It's worth it to just go walk through the house. And you can do it anytime we're open. Everybody's welcome. You don't have to be a member, of course, to just come in. There's usually art in the galleries. But it was built 100 years ago. I want to say 70,000 tons of slate for the roof. Every brick is a cast off of other projects that wasn't perfect enough.
Oh, that's
She
cool.
literally wanted imperfect perfection. The chimneys are on purpose, a little crooked. Yes. And Arthur passed early, so Grace was never able to have children. He got sick, unfortunately. And she would host all local children's birthday parties. She would just host them. They could use the grounds. It was really, really cool. She wrote a couple books and did some art. Hence, she wanted it to be.
So you have an event space there, right? Can people?
So this space, I was checking it out online. So the end of the story is when Grace passed, the city of Rome purchased it. I looked it up here, 1966, and the Rome Art and Community Center was born as the nonprofit that it is today. The event space is awesome. Like, it's gorgeous. Like, really nice.
So blessed to go to work there every day. It is beautiful.
Yeah, so talk about it.
So it's 3 floors. You don't usually see the 3rd floor is where our preschool is. It's almost like an attic with a great Alice in Wonderland murals all on the walls. It's all of it's one of a kind. We have a great yard. So you can rent it. Nonprofits can actually rent it for, I want to say, $25 an hour. Minimum 2 hours, maybe. So really affordable if you want to have a meeting or something, just in a different space. We have audio visual equipment. We have 3 galleries on the 2nd level. Right now, it's a group show with over 20 local artists and over 100 pieces we got for this show. But yeah, it's just a beautiful old, the woodwork, the plaster, the decorations in the plaster on one of the ceilings. It's amazing to see. The attention to detail when they built this building was.
Yeah, that's awesome. The event space in particular, about 60 people, I think I saw 60 to 75 max, and probably good for birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers. We have a wedding actually coming up. Okay.
So we're going to have some wedding space because the outdoor grounds are also beautiful, of course. And I want to say it's about 3 acres. So there's plenty of space outside as long as the weather cooperates. And we got a couple big tents and...
Yeah, however you want to party. It's a great place to party.
Right. And the number is per room. So that's how many people you can actually fit in a room.
Oh, okay.
There are 4 rooms on the 1st floor, 4 rooms on the 2nd floor. And then, of course, we don't rent out preschool.
All right. Yeah, so let's talk about the pre-K.
Let's talk about the party.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Party, pre-K.
You can talk about the pre-K.
Okay, well, you start.
It's a party every day in pre-K. Go ahead.
It really is. Yeah.
It is.
We'll get into pre-K first.
So real quick, the Owl and the Silver Moon. So that's a pretty cool name for a pre-K. Right? Learning Academy, ages 3 and 4, 9 to noon, which is a long time for a 3 and 4-year-old, right? 3 hours. Yes. 4-year-old class Monday through Friday. 3-year-old class joins on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So what is that? Does that mirror the school calendar?
It is. It's based off the City of Rome school calendar. So same break, same snow days, all of that. And that we really teach through the arts. So they still learn all of the stuff, of course, the weather, the days of the week, counting, writing their name. But it's all based through arts and art vision and the process of creation versus the outcome. It's really, almost Montessori style.
Yeah.
But not completely child-led.
And so how many teachers do you have?
We have 1 teacher and 1 aide right now because it's a smaller space. So our max is probably about 15 kids between the 2 classes together. So the 3 and 4-year-olds. And actually our preschool teacher is retiring. So we have some great candidates right now to really grow the program. And I think we're going to miss her. She did a one-of-a-kind job. What she put into that program to grow it. So it's 7 years old. She's been there since the start. Was really amazing. And she's done a great job.
That's still great. Small class sizes are so important because you don't get that in the pre-Ks that are in the school district.
I would guess hard to get into. Is it with only 15 spaces and what you offer?
It is not, I think, because it's so new. So it's been growing. Then COVID, of course, like everything, took it back a little. Okay. And we're getting right back up to probably full. So if you have a 3 or 4-year-old that you want to learn.
And that's not just City of Rome, right? Anyone?
No, if you want to drive out, you're absolutely, yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about partying?
Let's talk about the party.
Okay.
Let's talk about wine and food and partying, right? May 18th, 1 to 4 p.m., you are doing your Sip into Spring Food and Wine Festival.
We are, yes. That's one of our bigger fundraisers. And we'll have probably close to 20 vendors, all local. I want to say 3 or 4 different wineries at this point. We'll have candles, we'll have chocolate, coffee. Everybody gives samples. So, just a really great time. Live music.
Cool. Indoors and outdoors, or is it all indoor?
We like to try and do it all outdoors. Last year, we did move some of the vendors in because it was a little rainy, unfortunately, so it was indoors and outdoors, but we like to try and do it all outdoors. And then you're more than welcome to, of course, look at the space, look at the art in the galleries.
I looked ahead at the weather, which at this point, why bother? I'm not going to jinx it. I'm just gonna say what it is.
It's going to rain all month.
No, it's it's just been a rough spring, and Saturday looks 50-50. I mean, what day
You'll never
isn't?
know.
What day isn't 50-50? So Kelly and I are going to go. So we're
Yes.
excited. We're going to take the long hike out to Rome. I say that jokingly for
You
those.
should time it and let people know that it is not that long.
We will definitely,
Listen,
we'll
it's a straight
recap
shot,
everyone.
though. I take the throughway in 49.
So here's
65 the whole way.
You do take the throughway from Herkimer?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, that saves me like 8 minutes.
Okay. Well, you would know. The price looks ridiculously low as someone
It is.
who, likes, I'm involved in things where we raise money. I would look at that and be like, girl, raise your price. But $10, that's it.
Yes, because it is a fundraiser for us. And we'll do other things, raffles. The vendors donate things, so you can buy raffle tickets and other ways to fundraise as well. But we really want people to be able to spend money with the vendors because it's also about enjoying the local, what we have to offer in the area and all of the different local businesses. So we don't want to get too...
Yeah, you don't want to create a barrier. Yeah, that's awesome.
How do people get tickets?
You can purchase tickets on our website, romeart.org, or you can buy them at day of, or you can call. We'll put you on the list. You can pay at the door if you just want to call and let us know you're coming. We can do that too.
Okay.
So this is a huge operation. I don't say huge, but this is a big operation, right? I mean, you've got the pre-K, you've got the summer classes, you've got your regular art events. So when we look at your calendar, which you can find online, is there ever a week where there's nothing?
No.
Yeah. So I mean,
No.
the volume of things you guys are doing.
Yes, and I don't even think I have on the calendar yet because there's all the stuff we do every month. So like Bluegrass Jam also we do. So you can actually bring instruments and jam with Mohawk Valley Bluegrass Association, brings people in. And then not on the calendar yet, we do a Halloween house and kids events for 2 weekends in October. And then Holiday House is our huge vendor event. It's beautiful. They decorate everything. And that is our largest fundraiser of the year. And that's 2 weekends in November.
Okay. Talk to me about sponsorships, donation, how people can get involved, because I gave a quick look at that and that seemed very reasonable as well. So what are the different sponsorship levels?
Oh, okay. So for membership, anyone who just wants a membership, I think basic is $50, families $100, seniors $35. That's for a year, and that just supports all of our programs. And it also gives you discounts on things like our sip and paint classes. And then sponsorship, $200, I think, is a business sponsorship.
Yeah.
So $200. And then you get all the benefits that come with that, which is, you're in our marketing, you're on our website, shout outs on social media. We have a pretty good reach there. And then it goes up. Grace Carpenter Foundation is $1,000. That gets you, on our donor wall and all of that.
And it also events such as you've got all kinds of events throughout the year.
We do. So we have different. So we have title sponsorships for all of our events. If you want, there are still some spots open this year. Our major events tend to sell out pretty quickly to the same people, just because they like the event, they like what it does for the community, and it's a really good way to get your name out there for sure in your business and show what you support. But title sponsorship probably starts $750 to $5,000, depending on how big the event is.
Gotcha.
And what the event is.
Yeah, and then they get entry to the event.
Yes,
right?
they all come with
the
tickets,
events,
and it all comes with your logo on everything.
Yeah. Awesome. What do we miss? Anything you want to plug, promote? You're the marketing person.
I am the marketing person. I should have a whole list.
Well, you do online. Romeart.org.
Well, so what do you do when you're not there? Talk about your family. You have a child, right?
I do. He'll be 10 in July.
Okay.
He's great. So it's me and Charlie.
You mentioned sports, right? Involved in sports, right?
Yes, we did soccer for a minute. I even did the coaching thing. I just wanted to not make a kid cry. I'm loud to begin with. I'm like, oh, these kids aren't going to be used to me.
Did you have success?
And I did it not from yelling, but I literally just passed the ball real quick, and she trapped it here. It wasn't that hard, I swear. And there were tears. First practice. I'm like, all right, well, that's over. So now we can move forward.
We're going to edit out the part where Erin injured a young
made
child.
The kid cry?
Yeah, made a kid cry.
You have no idea how many text messages I sent to people like, I just don't want to make anyone cry. Because it was ASO too, so you got, it's the highly competitive. But he does wrestling. We just moved up to a 65cc dirt bike. So track season is starting. I think we get to spend a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Speaking of injuries,
I know. That's what everyone says.
We should talk about an accidental policy for you. Not for you, for your
child.
For
a hospital policy. You definitely need one of those.
We have all the gear. We're hoping not.
This is why we really brought you in.
Right. There's always a motive, right?
I love in your key message. So you say, know what you're eating. arts and cultures add so much to our community and give back when you can. So what do you mean by know what you're eating?
Okay, so that goes way back. So arts is my current focus. I just think it's really important, but starting way back, food and what is in our food and what people do to our food and what we don't even realize is happening was really probably where I found the nonprofit world and was like, oh, this is an amazing world to be part of. That was in Ticonderoga when I helped start a food co-op.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. You, like so many of our other guests, a lot of people move out of the area, but eventually end up coming back. You know, so if you want to talk about your experience in Lake Placid or wherever else you were, and then what brought you back.
So when I left to go to Lake Placid and I found the Mirror Lake Inn. And that was just an amazing, not only is it amazing to stay, they truly get that if you treat your employees right, like they treat your guests right, the whole thing from top to bottom, the whole organization is incredible. I think their retention rate is like 80% people have been there over 10 years. I don't know if those numbers are true now. It's been a while, but I would be shocked if they weren't, or even
put an
better
asterisk,
at this
air
point.
Quotes as you say that. Makes it all okay.
Yeah, I have no references, no notes. And then I moved to Crown Point, New York, which is right next to Ticonderoga, and had my kid. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, now what do we do? Like, my kid's a year and a half. So then the food co-op, I was going to join that board, and they wanted to open early without all the fundraising. I'm like, well, we aren't going to be able to afford a GM, so I'll do it for 6 months if you let me bring my kid with me. So we did that, and it was great.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I'm a firm believer of just learn new things. Like, even if you don't know how to do them, just do them.
Yeah.
Learn
as you go, right?
Just jump.
Yes. That was on the floor, feet running, learn as you go. And it was great. It was a great experience.
So our situation was very similar. We had our first son in Virginia.
Yep.
And that kind of changed our mindset and attitude around where we wanted to raise a family.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up back here as well. So
yeah. And I was surprised. So when I was nervous about moving back, I'm like, oh, I haven't been back since high school. Oh my goodness, it's great.
Did you legit get I got anxiety.
I did. And then I'm like, oh, he's going to go to the switch school districts. I'm like, oh, this is.
I was scared to go to the store, like, because people would judge me.
I'm like, I don't know.
So
because there's always those conversations. But yeah, no, it was great.
Real quick before we do our last our rapid fire 5 questions, going back to the know what you're eating. Do you guys, with your background and your interest in this, with the Rome Art and Community Center, are there farmers markets or any way for them to bring
starting market music and more this summer? So June 10th is the kickoff. We're still looking if you got some food trucks or anything anybody wants to bring out on Mondays. We have live music, we'll have kids activities, we have some vendors, a farmer, and hopefully some food trucks. And yeah, it's free to the community, just a nice community event. Come have fun, enjoy.
So people are going to want to check out your website and the calendar. Do you do a newsletter as well?
Yes, you can definitely sign up for our newsletter.
Yeah, so that's something that everyone should do. So you're in the know. So many times, this is the good and bad of social media. We'll see things that already happened, which is great. Wow. But then it's like, well, we didn't know about that.
You wish you would have known that. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. So
I see them the day before. I'm like, no, we already have plans. That would be great.
Yeah. So put yourself on the calendar, get on the newsletter, and stay in touch with the community center and all the awesome things that Erin and her team are doing. We end all of these with our rapid fire 5 questions.
Nobody warned me about that.
I know, that's why.
It's fun. It's fun. It sounds way scarier than it is.
These are all on Apple and Spotify. If you didn't do your homework, it's too
listen.
It's
I did
too
listen
late
to a couple. I must not have made it to the
make it to the end. Yeah, you got to make it to the end.
Listen, I have a kid. I don't make it to the end of anything.
Erin,
they're like, what are you watching on TV?
You've got a long commute. I just learned that. I know you shortened it by 8 minutes taking the thruway.
You're taking my music away.
All right, ready?
All right.
Okay, you operate out of a 100-year-old mansion. Mm-hmm. Is it haunted?
Yes. Grace is there. I say goodnight to her every night. I can hear her walking around. People have seen her in the window. Somebody knocked on the door once. The general manager was there at night. They're like, who's the light? Why is the lady standing with a light in the window on the second floor?
So crazy, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
I love it. You talk to her. Does she talk to you, or just it's one way?
I haven't heard her talk.
One way conversation.
She makes a lot of noise, but I have not heard actual.
Scott talked to the spirits in here when he bought this place where we're recording
right now.
This
is also awesome. A haunted facility.
Yes,
and
it is.
We have an agreement. that we
Made an
get at 9
agreement.
to 5, Monday through Friday.
And they can do whatever.
They can do whatever they want nights and weekends.
That's
And according to our neighbors, they do.
They do. You can see them.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it used to
awesome.
be an old dance studio, and you can see like people dancing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Pretty
I
cool.
heard a music box the other day on the second floor. I'm like, the girl I was with, I'm like, do you have a music box? She's like, nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Real
Yeah.
man.
So you're thinking about all different ways to bring people in. And obviously with arts, it's creative and marketing brains are creative. So what's an unexpected or off the wall idea that turned out to actually be a pretty big hit? Or you can give us one that didn't turn out to be much of it. That might be even more exciting.
I think time will tell. Market music and more is probably the really, we'll
That's
see.
not that
We'll see how it
crazy.
goes.
That's not that great. That's
For us, it is. There's
Yeah?
only 2 of us in the
Okay.
office.
So it's as far as like a big undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And a
Alright.
real community event. Rome doesn't, I don't think they have a lot of community things, but they
Okay.
don't have
And that starts
steady
June
throughout the
10th.
summer. They have different events all over.
So let's go there and rock the boat.
What's the biggest challenge you face when marketing a nonprofit?
I would think almost the same as all nonprofits. We run off of donations, fundraisers, and sponsorships, but you can only put that message out so much. But you have to put that message out so much, unfortunately. So finding that balance between this is what we do, and we're an art center. So to switch from art to community, because we
Yeah.
do both. Art centers are marketed to a whole different demographic. And
Yeah.
we really wanted everybody to know that we're for the whole community and all the demographics.
It's not just an art studio.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's valid. You know, you've got so many different age groups, so many different programs and initiatives. And to your point, the whole, hey, we're community funded and we rely on donations, it becomes white noise, unfortunately, right?
Does-
Because so many are in the
There-
same boat.
There are. And I was just I went to a Dan Pallotta. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Uncharitable. Shout out to that. Watch it if you haven't. Comes out in June for general viewing. But they spoke about nonprofits, and he actually came to the Onondagas to speak. There are 1,600 nonprofits in this small area. 1,600
Isn't that wild?
groups working on their own, trying to get the same money from the same people because it's only so big of an area.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
You know, there's so many things
There's a lot.
that I know the problem.
And they all do amazing things.
I don't know the solution, but I know the problem. And so as a small business owner in the community, that makes sense because I think I get 1,600 solicitations.
Probably. Yeah.
You
And
know,
you can
it's
only
tough
do so
you can only
much.
do, and you feel
You
bad.
pick and choose.
Yeah,
really.
it's really hard. It is really
I
hard.
don't know what the answer
His solution is to all work together, but
Yeah,
there's
you know,
a field test in Fort Myers, Florida right now.
consulting
goes.
and authors and speakers, we get to just throw things out, just work together. Then
That is
then
what
he
he
leaves.
said.
Then he leaves
Yeah.
town and goes
He's
and talks
like,
to someone
I
else.
don't have an answer, but this area would be great. It was, yeah.
Sorry to Dan for that, but that's the truth. Red or white wine?
I don't like wine.
Ooh, neither.
Oh.
Neither.
And I worked at
neither.
Taylor and the Cook. They made me try a lot of
It's
wine.
probably
so
another
I
place we
know
saw
that I
you.
don't like wine.
We definitely saw you at Taylor and the Cook then.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a possibility. It was great. Oh my gosh, that was fun too. But so
Well,
many
we
just
can't
fun
wait
jobs.
to taste the red and the white wine this
You should
weekend
taste
the
because
red
we
and the
like
white
both.
wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we like both. You know, I'm a white wine drinker more in the summer, and I like the reds in the winter. So I
'Cause it's
change with
lighter.
the seasons.
The white's lighter. You got
Yeah,
and
I
it's
do.
cold
Chilled.
versus red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had one weekend left to spend in Central New York, what would you do?
I would go the Adirondacks.
Where specifically? It's a big mountain range, Erin.
Well, she said Central, so I would go farther than Central, but we could go Old Forge, one of
Yeah.
my favorites,
Mhm.
on the way up there. Speculator.
Yeah.
Grew up in Speculator, love it.
Okay, nice.
Spent summers there.
We'll just follow you around. We love all of that too.
Anything with mountains and water, and I'm good. That's
Yeah.
it. That's really
just
all
no
I
wine.
need.
Wine is where you draw the line.
No, we
yeah.
can bring some beer. We can bring some seltzer.
She's more of a microbrew person, I think. I think she likes her
I'm a
beers.
brewery
Yeah,
girl.
That's the cool thing about the wineries now is almost all of them have
a form
options.
something,
It used to
yeah.
be just wine, but now they're teaming up or doing whatever microbrews, which is
Yep.
cool. All right. Saturday, May 18th from 1 to 4. Sip into Spring Food and Wine Festival. Tickets are only $10. Might as well be
Yes,
free at
join
that
us.
point. We're going to
Yeah.
be there.
And
We
it
are
helps
gonna
a
be
great
there.
cause.
We're going to take some pictures, do some videos. Jay's going to make us look good. Jay's got the hardest job ever.
I was just
Mhm.
gonna say Jay has a hard job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, I'm counting on you over here.
our executive producer, Jay Spina, over there nodding his head. For those of you that made it to the end of the episode, we know Erin doesn't go that far into these, but now you know that Jay's our guy.
I'm going to listen to them all. You're going to get a personal email on my critique of each one so you know I listened.
Yes.
Question number 4. What was question number 4?
Thank you for the invitation this weekend. We
thank you guys so much for coming, and thank you for
in.
having me.
Yeah, yes. And we'll look into other ways we can get involved personally. This is a little treasure that we weren't aware of out in Rome, and it's not that far. So Erin Kelley, Director of Marketing, Roman Art Community Center, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another Love Living Local episode. Before you head out to support all things Central New York, we just have one ask of you. Please help us share the love we have for our community by sharing this podcast with a neighbor of yours. We truly appreciate you. In fact, you are one of the many reasons we love living local.